right, so I guess we'll just get started. Do you want to talk a little bit about how you found CrossFit?
Yeah, so about like 6 years ago, my dad did it and my family did it, and my sister did gymnastics, so we would always just go to the gym with them and just kind of mess around. And then once I was old enough, I started doing class workouts and getting more competitive.
And that's where you met him?
Yeah, I met.
Tell him. I signed your shoes.
Yeah.
Tell him the story.
A couple years later, I guess, he went to my gym, so.
You went to my gym.
Oh yeah, my bad. I went to his gym, and a couple years later we met and he signed my shoes and we took a picture.
She came up to me and she was like, "Can you please sign my shoes?" She was so scared to ask me. I was like, "Of course." And I said, "Do you still have those shoes?"
Probably not.
Oh, what a loss, what a loss.
I think it was actually after I won Wadapalooza. I was like 10 or something, and yeah.
That's the photo we took.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I posted yesterday. Yeah.
And then it was history. You guys just
Well, they worked out in C3 for a while, you and Ellie, so she's got an older sister who competed at the games for 3 years. How much older is Ellie than you?
3 years, 4 years sometimes.
4 years sometimes, 3.5. And so Ellie was pretty good, because obviously Liv was super young. And so they were training in our gym, Cobra Command, for quite a bit. And then we just invited you out to the barn to come train, because you guys were kind of like, it was hard with school, the times and stuff. And so they came out to the barn and for Ellie, and just Liv just tagged along. I was fine with it. Like, she would just do with the PVC pipe or some. We had a special bar for you. It was like a 10 or 15 pound bar. It was like really.
A trainer bar,
we still have it. It's in the barn. Never gets used. I think we curl with it now. But they would just come out to the barn and work out every night with us, and they just started doing that. And then of course Ellie qualified for her first year at the games, became more serious, and then she just was along for the ride.
So what was that like, having someone that's as seasoned as him in your corner from the very beginning?
Yeah, it was definitely an advantage, and it was so much fun, and just to get the practice and experience and getting to watch him.
Don't get me wrong, she cried a lot. We made her cry.
Yeah, it was hard.
So, God, you had so many years of just waiting.
Yeah.
Waiting to compete. What was that like?
That was hard, especially like last year when I finally got to compete and then it got canceled. But I mean, it was fun, and I feel like I needed it. Like, if I would have started like just 2 years ago, then I wouldn't have like probably qualified and been as strong and like good as I am now.
Well, you also qualified, technically you qualified to go for the 14, 15 year age division when you were like 12. But you obviously couldn't go, and the CrossFit Games wouldn't let you because of insurance policy. But you qualified for many years, but obviously.
Yeah, I would always do the open workouts and like see where I ranked up and stuff. So.
Like, ever since Ellie was doing them.
Yeah.
And then this year, you finally got your chance. What was the open like?
Oh gosh. Oh yeah, it was weird. We had three weeks. I didn't really like any of the open workouts, but I was just trying to get top 200, so that was fine. But it was fun. I think I got 6th or 4th or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was good just to see where I was at after the long year of like not knowing where anyone was at.
And then
You're substantially usually better at least some games or at person with a little bit heavier weights, not 20-pound dumbbells.
Yeah.
We don't let her train with 20-pound dumbbells anymore because then she just leaves us.
Yeah.
So the goal wasn't to win the open, it was just to get through the top 200 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And then you did.
I know, I was actually surprised by that. I was surprised when I won the age group, but it was good to know where I was at.
So then when you got your invitation to the games, what did that feel like?
It was so good. I just felt like I'd been waiting so long for it, so it was so cool to get that.
And then training for the games, what was that like?
It was hard. It went by really fast, that's for sure.
You're with us 4 days a week, and then at the end of the summer, you're 1 day a week in with...
Yeah, I actually trained with Mal O'Brien.
Oh, gotcha.
She's like, what, 3 hours away?
Yeah, so I would drive up there and spend the whole day with her training like once a week, and that was really good for like experience and stuff, so that was fun.
Yeah, because I'm not training for the games, so my training looks different. So
Yep.
like, it was better for her to get it from someone who's actually going to the games. Because
Sure.
I honestly couldn't do the same volume she was doing. I couldn't wake up and swim in the morning and then do morning mono and then come back and do a workout in the barn at night. It was just too much for me.
Yep. You got here. What were you feeling going in?
I would say I kind of felt like a lot of pressure, like after winning the age group qualifier, like I felt like it was a lot of pressure, like that you have to win this, and it definitely was, but I knew like that my preparation, that I had done good, and so I was just excited and just focused one workout at a time. I knew not everything was going to be like my strong suit, but I just focused everything one workout at a time.
She was mostly nervous because we told her if she didn't win, she couldn't come back and train the barn.
Yeah.
Harsh.
That's what she's not saying.
So let's just go through a little bit, event by event, talk about how you did, the strategy that you kind of helped her with. So let's just start with event 1. Yeah.
I worked on running a lot this year, so I was actually really kind of excited going into that event to see like how I had improved. And I went my first lap.
last?
Yeah, I didn't get last. I did my first lap like straight on the paces I needed to, straight on the paces I was told, and then
You rode on your forearm.
yeah, I had paces, and it went downhill from there. But I got back up from it.
Yeah, we knew running wasn't going to be her
Yeah.
strong suit.
Yep.
It's never been.
Yeah.
Her and I are complete opposites. Like, I would not have won the snatch event, but I would have placed very high in the run. She's the opposite.
Yeah. So I knew it wasn't going to be my favorite, but just get it out of the way first.
Did that affect your mental, like, motivation going forward into the next events?
I wouldn't say not really. I mean, I wanted to obviously place higher in it, but I knew that like that was going to be my worst event. So to get 16th and get it out of the way, like that was good to get it out of the way. Yeah.
Going to get better.
Yeah.
Yep. And then next was the, was it the rope climbs?
Yeah. That one I was really nervous for. I mean, it was only 5 legless rope climbs, but that's just like kind of scary. Just like if you fail, then you're like, and I was actually really surprised to get second and to finish that because not a lot of people in my division finished. I think only 2 did. So I was really surprised and happy about that.
And then event 3, the snatch.
That was definitely one of my favorites. I didn't expect to hit that high at all. That was a 17-pound PR. So yeah.
So what did that feel like in in the Coliseum, all of that?
Yeah, I definitely it was definitely so much part of the atmosphere. Like if I went, I feel like I couldn't have done that like in my gym at home. Like I feel like it was definitely the atmosphere that helped me get that PR.
What did you tell her leading up to that one?
Oh, I didn't tell her nothing. She's going to lift.
Easy.
We knew that was going to be my strong.
She doesn't normally max out that often, so we knew she was going to PR. We didn't know why.
And then, how were you feeling after day 1?
I think I was pretty good after day 1. I don't think the soreness really like sunk in until like the all the squats on day 2. That's when my legs started getting sore. But after day 1, I was good.
And so day 2 started with the, what was that?
The chipper. That one was fun.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorites. I like chippers and I liked all the movements in it. So I just did everything unbroken and went through it, and it was super fun.
When you win by 90 seconds, it tends to be, by second place, it tends to be a fun workout.
Yeah, that's part of it.
And then the swim, or the run, really.
Yeah.
What was that like?
It was crazy. I swallowed so much water, and obviously that was my first time being in that lake, so I was not expecting that much like seaweed and stuff to be in the water, but I'm not really I wouldn't say I'm a good swimmer, so I was kind of happy with 8th place. So I knew I just needed to get that to stay ahead a little bit and do better in the last workouts.
So, that one, obviously there's not much you can plan for being in a lake that you've never been in, and then it turns out to not be really that deep. So do you guys do a lot of unknowable training, that kind of stuff? How do you work with that?
But I mean, it's not really unknowable, it's just running in water.
Yeah.
Different than what you're used to, different than a pool or...
I mean, if you can swim, you can run in water.
Yeah.
Yeah, I trained a lot in a pool, so it was different than that with the lake and the seaweed.
Then day 2 was done, and you felt.
Yeah, I would say my legs were a little tight, kind of sore. That didn't really set in until like the morning of day 3, but I was fine.
And mentally, how are you doing?
I was good. I honestly don't even remember looking at the leaderboard at all. So I don't know what place I was in after day 2.
Second place by 5 points. So.
Yeah, so I just knew that we got briefed that night, and I really liked the workouts for the next day, so I was excited.
Traditional CrossFit. Which is what you're good at. Yeah, it wasn't like let's run or just swim.
Yeah.
It was easy.
Day 3 started with the jump rope, which gave a lot of people trouble. How was that?
I went into it really nervous because I had heard things from like previous heats, but I went into it actually trying to like do different things, different techniques, and ended up just doing regular double unders how I normally do, and they worked the best that way, so it was good.
Very good.
Yeah.
What place did you get?
Oh, I think I won that one, and I was
You
like,
think?
I did, but I was like behind by a lot, and a lot of those movements are like my weaknesses, so I was actually really surprised and happy with that one.
I don't think skier is a weakness of yours.
Okay, muscle ups and double unders.
Okay, fair enough. Fair point.
Okay, and then the last event was the wall walks. How, obviously that's a new movement. Did you train that a lot before the Open?
No, I would have it. Yeah, I would have it in. We joked about that because I would have it in like warm-ups, like, oh, do like 3 wall walks to warm up your shoulders, and I would just be like, wall walks, no.
Be like, nah, I'm just gonna skip.
Yeah, so I would just skip those. So I was surprised. They were definitely hard in the Open, and honestly, after the Open, I didn't do them at all this summer. So it was weird to. I was surprised to see them again, but they're really hard. So it's a good test.
Yeah, for sure. And then that event went.
Yeah, that was a fun event. In the Coliseum, last event, I like heavy thrusters, so.
They weren't heavy enough.
They weren't heavy enough, but better than nothing.
Yeah.
So, and that was a really fun event.
And then crossing the finish line, what does that feel like?
Yeah, I knew I needed to like win by like 1 or 2 places to like get first in that event or in the competition. So after I finished first, I was so excited, and it was kind of like hard to believe that like after all these years that I had finally did it that I wanted to do.
And what is that?
And she continued to work out in the bubble.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Come back.
Oh, yay!
And what does that feel like for you as a coach, watching her grow up and then seeing that?
Just like you imagine it would. It was good. Known me for 6 years. And I get to see her try and qualify for many years when not allowed to, and it's just, it's a blessing.
So for next year, what's the plan? Moving up the age group, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure that'll be fine.
I'm not really worried about moving up. I would say just doing the same thing that I have been doing, and I don't think the heavier weights or anything will hurt me. Yeah, it'll be better for me.
Yeah.
So what's your guys' both favorite memories from the games this year?
Not watching her run.
Yeah, not that. I don't know. I had a lot of favorite moments. I would say like my top 2 were definitely the last event in the Coliseum, and then the Snatch was a huge fun thing to do.
Mine was the chipper.
That one was fun too.
Yeah, that was my favorite one.
Awesome.
I had a lot of favorites.
What do you think is the biggest challenge or adversity that you've had to overcome?
I don't know.
It's been easy. I've had no issues.
We're shooting movements that Liv always struggled with in the beginning. She's gotten much better at.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when she first showed up, we would just work on handstand walking 6 feet at a time. It was like, hey, get past this mat. Remember we would put cones up like today we're gonna get 5 feet. And then how far did you go on broken? How far did you go on the chipper?
I know, it was, I went 84 feet, so.
The only person that ever did it.
Yeah, I think that was a big accomplishment to be able to do that. And again, the swim, I didn't think I was gonna do that good, and I'm not very good at swimming, so getting 8th wasn't bad.
No, survived.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't drown.
So after next year, figure out 16, 17, feel it out. Do you have plans to go individual?
Yeah,
Sanctional next year.
Yeah, next year I think I would like, now that I can do the same weights and see where I rank up. I think it'd be exciting to get to sanctional just to get that experience before I'm actually in the elite.
Yeah. Absolutely. Awesome. Well, unless you guys have any like rally cries, anything else to say, that's all I have for you.
I don't think so.
Okay. Some people do, so you never know. All right, awesome. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.